So this video has been a long time in coming. You see, the problem with Heaven's Eye is once you beat it, you can't go back and fight it again with the same conditions. There's 2 fights leading up to it. So I needed a fresh run to do a guide on how to beat this content. And fortunately, a very kind E7 member named Meadwill let me theorycraft with his account and come up with a team that is very free-to-play friendly, I think, to make this work. This is the bare bones of the team. Adventurer Ross, you get for free. Sigret, you get for free if you do the hunt missions. If you don't have an A-Lots, ask a friend to run one as a support unit. Have him speed tune it to your Iseria and then run a 3-man team with that support. Iseria is required for this, but you can get her by doing these side story quests. So if you don't have Iseria yet, you want to pop over to the side story section and do her side story. Once you complete it and unlock enough other side stories, you'll be able to do the side story summon, where you'll be able to summon for the Song of Stars artifact and for Iseria. You really want both. It can probably be done without Song of Stars, but oh my gosh, Song of Stars makes this so much easier. Anything to lower the gear requirement, right? So now let's talk a little bit about the team and the units we're going to use to beat it, and how we're going to gear for this. For a support unit, I recommend you pick a knight. Zio always targets knights when they're on the team. If there's no knights on the team, he randomly targets, and his stun can really mess things up. Iseria needs to be the fastest unit on your team. The faster the better. Speed tuning is important for this fight. We found 244 worked well based on the other units, but you can try other speeds. And make sure she has decent effectiveness. I think you need 60% effectiveness because Zio has 75% ER. And the Song of Stars artifact. If yours is plus 30, even better. Next is Auxiliary Lots. He needs to be slower than Iseria, 5% slower or more. He needs to be on Tagoar's book. If you don't have a plus 21 or higher Tagoar's book, you'll need to run a second book, so replace Adventurer Ross with a book holding mage. But realize if you do that, you're adding some RNG to the fight because Zio always attacks knights first. Once there's no knights left on the team, he attacks randomly. So we got Ross on there as our knight. He is mostly just a punching bag. I gave him Arius to give him some additional defense and build him with as much tankiness as possible. He never really gets to take a turn, so don't worry about speed or gear or stats on him other than tankiness. Sigret, you want to have good damage. Now this is a pretty free-to-play Sigret. She's got all level 75 right side gear. She doesn't have enough damage to one-shot or to get below 75%. If yours has got more damage, go for the number 3 smash artifact so that you can get the extra swipe in when she does her S2. I put her on the free Prelude artifact to give her extra damage as well. The Guardian doesn't matter, so we're just going to take Tom Cruise with us to because he doesn't get to play otherwise. We'll skip this because spoilers. You can read that yourself. And more spoilers. Now at the start of the fight, Zio will attack the knight in the team. If there's no knight, he'll attack randomly. He will stun. I'm 99% sure it's 100% ignore ER because he never missed that stun. And the stun will also stealth the front unit, making everyone else more vulnerable. To start the fight, you need to have Iseria use her S3 and put 3 debuffs. She's got to stick all 3 of them, the defense break, the immunity, and the hit chance. So you got to get 3 15% checks and 1 25% check if your Song of Stars isn't maxed. Next, you have A-Lots push up your Sigret, and this is why you need to have the plus 21 or higher book. You soul burn here. And ideally, you drop them below 75%, get 1 extra swipe in. Heck, if you do that, you might even just finish them off with a single shot here. I, on the other hand, did not, and we also didn't get enough debuffs because you need this S3 hit to take him below 30 or below 40%, and we're just shy of being below 40% on the damage. So we have to restart because you need him to activate his S3 again. So let's see, we'll take another knight with us. Make sure you heal everybody up from the damage you took. You'll spend a little bit of gold here. If you do not want to spend that gold, you can load the same team up with a healer, go into like a level 1 adventure, heal everybody up with the healer, and then come back and do it again if you're totally broke. Hopefully you're not so broke you can't afford to just heal. So once again, stunning and stealthing the front unit. And now Iseria must stick all 3 debuffs.
Forever, I pledge myself.
And she didn't. That's only 2 of the 3 debuffs, so you restart. Okay, so enough messing around. I did this several times to get the RNG right, to be able to get the damage where I need it to be, the debuffs where I need it to be. I'm out of night, friends, so I'm just going to take Strays with me. Maybe after Ross dies, he'll be able to contribute to the damage. So we skip the spoilers. And we skip this spoiler. And now we're into the fight. So, once again, Zio S3's the Knight, silencing or stunning him and putting stealth on. Iseria just drops a raw S3. You need all 3 debuffs to stick here, or you restart the fight. We got all 3. Alots pushes Sigret up to give the attack buff.
Take this.
Preparations are complete.
And now we burn the S2. As long as I get 2 debuffs. Yeah, I got my 2 debuffs, so even with as low stats as I got, this will be enough to push below that 40% threshold on damage. There we go. That triggers Zio's S3 again.
How much can you trifle creatures?
Ross is still on the team, so he'll still hit the Knight. These attacks can CR push the team. In this case, it pushed Alots back a little bit. That's okay. That does add some RNG to things. We'll go ahead and reset Sigret so she's ready to go again. Zio's stealthed, so I can't hit him, so I'll just pick one of the adds and smack it. Now, we need to get rid of the stealth. So we'll use Alots' S3 to pull that stealth away.
Victory is mine. Try to stop.
Go. Okay, so now we're going to soul burn, stick the defense break and the target debuff on Zio. Good, we got both. We'll use the S2. Alots cuts, pushes Sigret up.
Now's my time to shine.
I am at your command.
And that's the fight.
Please disappear.
Now, just to be jerks, the developers have Zio heal once and do his S3 and hit your team and make you think that even though you thought you won, you hadn't, but this won't kill you. You get to move on. And that's it. This is an exceedingly difficult fight, especially compared to the ones you've had to do up to this point. I strongly recommend you don't try to force it. It's gatekeeping you for a reason. You need to be a certain power level before we move on to the next chapters, so take the time to do the side stories. Get your Iseria, get your Song of Stars artifact. Do the labyrinth, do the arena, get the gear to make your Sigret strong enough, ideally significantly stronger than mine, so that you can power through this. If you don't have auxiliary lots, have a friend unit. Set him as a supporter so you can use your friend's auxiliary lots. Make sure your friend puts Tag's book on him, plus 21 or higher, and make sure your friend speed tunes him to your Iseria. It'll make life a lot easier. And worst case scenario, if you have all these units but your Sigret's not very strong, use a friend's Sigret to nuke it down super fast. That is kind of the only cheater way to do this. We spent about an hour and a half of bad RNG getting this footage, but it does work, and I hope this helps you clear the team. Make a stronger Sigret and make your life a lot easier for this fight. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments section, and as always, like and subscribe.